There is a man that you came into this commentary booth, Max Alran, with a bit of information about. Apparently a big crash in practice this morning.
Yeah, he had a big crash in the rock garden. Seemed like he had hurt his finger a little bit. Ended up rolling off the track. So he's got to wrap up the overall here with a good run. And he's going to try his best. He's up there at the top, getting ready to go.
Ryder Lawrence will be the first rider on course, and then it's an all-out gunfight with some of the fastest names in the business. Look at the business end of things. Burke, Williamson, Waite, Alran, Vermette. Huge, huge race on our hands today. Asa Vermette, fastest in quali yesterday. Happy with that one?
He was. He's enjoying the track. He's loving it here. I don't think he's overthinking things too much. And happy.
That is that man's superpower, isn't it? Just doesn't overthink it too much, just gets after it. Ryder Lawrence leaves the start hut then for the USA.
He'll be excited to get down with a good run and get some hot seat time. I think he had a crash yesterday, which put him back this far, but still was, I'd say, lucky to make it just in the last position there, even though having not the best qualifying run.
Yeah, shifted back towards the national series from the international circuit this season. We've seen him in the last couple of races, and it's worked for him as well. And I guess, Nico, a big part of that is just how vibrant and competitive that US National Series is now.
Yeah, it's really good. We've got 5 awesome races in the Monster Energy Pro Downhill Series, and it's really up in the field. It's a chance for guys like Ryder here to sharpen their skills and race at a really competitive level within the country.
Fox US Open as well.
It's tough for some of these guys. I mean, for my team as well. I've done it my whole career. Traveling to Europe for the majority, 80% of the season is over across the ocean. So to be able to race closer to home is a good chance to up the level for the riders in our country.
Some amazing scenes here in the woods in Mont-Sainte-Anne. If you're new to downhill racing, the old adage used to go that the only thing that was guaranteed in life was that it would rain in Mont-Sainte-Anne. We had some rain at the start of the week, but big period of drought up here on the northeastern side of North America. And
conditions are nearly perfect today.
Yeah.
We got that rain on Tuesday and Wednesday, which was right when we needed it. It was a little bit wet to start the first practice, but almost hero dirt out there in the woods right now.
Course team have done a great job as well, haven't they, of keeping this place in good nick?
Yeah, the track's in great condition. Some more maintenance than normal these days with leaf blowing. This time of year we got our own challenges, but yeah, the track looks superb out there.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask you about that. Much fewer leaves than we saw here last year, which sounds like a bit of an inane thing to talk about, but whenever they fill up the lines and the line choices and the holes in the track, it can be an issue here in St. Anne.
Yeah, and we're a week later than we were last year, so a lot of those leaves at the top of the track are already down off the trees.
Ryder Lawrence making his way towards the Stevie Smith drop. Oh, just got bucked sideways there.
You can see the pace they're coming off of that. It's a feature that was designed to ride a little slower, and every year riders are up in the level, up in the pace, and conditions like we have today, they're coming off the end of that thing with some real speed.
And how difficult is it to get up to race speed here in Mont-Sainte-Anne? Because it's long compared to a lot of the tracks we go to, but more than that, it's extremely physical in the hands and the arms, and getting a full top to bottom run does require huge reserves of energy.
Well, Ryder was really fast through that rock garden. It comes to you fairly easily on the first run. The hard thing is grabbing that next gear and upping the pace. You can feel good right away. The track's not as technical as it was in years past, but it's hard to up that speed and separate yourself from the rest of the riders.
This is the famous Liddell rock section. Lawrence gets the gap on the way out of it. Absolutely one of the most ferocious sections of any UCI Downhill World Cup track.
It's been a really good run for him here. He's been smooth, and I haven't really seen any mistakes. Nice.
I thought you just cursed that. As Ryder Lawrence knows that whip into landing, but
you went deeper than he expected there.
No such dramas for the Californian. Here he comes across the line to give us our first benchmark time of the day, a 3:40.442.
It's a solid time. We'll see that one hold up for a few riders here at the beginning of the field.
We have fought that before in junior men's racing, only to be proven wrong.
Yeah, you never know what to expect in this category. And that's the exciting thing with downhill, too. You can turn things around so quick. You never know what to expect. And all these junior riders, they have what it takes. It's just, can they put that full run together?
Nathan DeVoe from the UK leaves the start hop.
And what a year he's had. He's made majority of the finals that he's entered, supported by his mom. Sometimes the best support you can have is your parents. But making a big trip over here to Canada and putting the bike right into the finals.
Yeah, big performance. 7.8 back on the time of Lawrence. So Asa Vermette's fastest qualifying time yesterday at 3:35.2.
Staying low there over that last hip.
You kind of need to, don't you? It's not really long enough for the speed they're hitting it at on race day.
Yeah, he did a good job of scrubbing that one.
Nathan DeVoe comes down the line, crosses it, goes second fastest so far, 6.8 seconds back off that hot seat time of Ryder Lawrence. Nico Mullally reckons that one will stand up for a few riders, and here's one of the standout acts of the season, Casper Hickman for Cube Factory Racing, Finnish national champ.
Well, he's going to put in a good challenge to Ryder's time here. Normally he starts a bit later in the field. I don't know if he had an issue in his qualifying run, but he really good rider, one of the first-year juniors in the category that's really challenged and mixed it up with all of the heavy hitters.
2.5 seconds back on Lawrence, so that was a good time set by Ryder Lawrence early on. But talked to Will Longdon, UK downhill legend, out on the course earlier this weekend, and he confirmed what we've been talking about all year of it's a very, very difficult time to be a junior men's downhill rider, up and coming. There's Hickman, there's George Madley, a whole raft of really, really big talents, but they're in there with some generational talents this year.
Yeah, in the past we've had that battle of Jackson and Jordan, 2 riders in the category. This year we've got 5.
Yeah,
they've all won races.
Lucas Dodora for Frameworks Development.
Yeah, Lucas's second year racing in the category, gained a lot of valuable experience last year. He's had a rough season, man. He's hit the deck quite a few times and missed a few races, but he's really tough getting back there, getting right back into things, and qualifying for every final that he's entered.
5.4 seconds back at the third split, turns into 6.3 seconds back at the fourth. But Nico, it's a big tool in a downhill rider's arsenal, isn't it? Because at this stage in the season, especially 10 rounds deep, biggest season we've ever had, to manage the injuries and the niggles across the year. There's no rider starting today who's completely injury-free and raring to go.
Yeah, and it's not even a management. It's like these kids are just going for it. They have to go if they want to compete, and sometimes they get caught out with a crash riding at this pace.
Well, Lucas Dodora's season comes to an end. He goes into third place for Frameworks Racing 5 Dev so far.
That was a solid run for him there. I think he probably wanted a little more to compete with the guys yet to come, but he had a great season overall.
Next up then, Omri Danon, a rider that has another rider that has really grown in stature this season, the young Israeli.
He's really progressed, and you can see him along with some of the other Israeli riders making a statement for a new part of the world for downhill racing.
Yeah, riding that UEC European Continental Champs jersey that he won in La Molina. In the under-19 category, he won an IXS in Les Ors earlier on the season. Difficult place to race bikes, Les Ors.
He's got a really nice style on the bike, too. He's always excels in the more technical sections. Maybe this track being a little flatter doesn't suit him as well as some of the other ones have this season.
Omri Danon, fourth place so far, 5.6 seconds back for the young Israeli. Huge, huge talent on a lot of team managers' watch lists. Hudson Tarling, next up for Australia.
Didn't get out of the gate maybe as cleanly as he wanted to there.
Yeah, the upside down 13 on board. As is a long standing tradition in bike racing, actually. If you get 13, put it on upside down, unless you're Aaron Gwynn. Claims that was his favorite number because he knew other people didn't want it.
Yeah, he loved, Aaron's so good at embracing that. He just, yeah, no superstition. Say, yeah, last run, nothing to worry about.
6 seconds back for Hudson Tarling so far. And we talk about how big the talent field is in the junior men's, Australian junior men at the minute as well. A lot of fast young riders come out of Australia.
Yeah, and spending the whole season abroad too. He did a good job of making up a few spots there at the last split.
I mean, it's something that maybe you could speak to, Nico, of that. It is such a commitment, and maybe that's that extra gear. As we see, Rico Moibo had a big crash in practice earlier this week, but you know, you are making the commitment to be abroad for a long part of the year. Maybe, just maybe, that makes it count for that little bit more.
Yeah, they definitely have to go all in. If they've already made the commitment to be here, they're going to try to capitalize on it. And oftentimes for some of the European riders, they can be pretty central to where most of the races are happening. For riders from the Southern Hemisphere, or even this season, riders from North America, it's a long time away from home.
Rico Moibo, only Estonian on the start list. Won a Coupe de France in Les Arcs earlier on this year, and another really highly rated young rider. And we talked about it last week. Difficult to do whenever you're the only person from your country represented at a world level.
Yeah, he's really smooth on the bike. He's got a good technique, and I think a style that he can build on.
7.5 seconds back from Moibo, so that time of Ryder Lawrence looking more and more impressive. Felix Griffiths up next for the Santa Cruz Syndicate.
He's going to want to end this season with a bang. He didn't quite have the first junior season that he had hoped for, with some injuries holding him back along the way, but he appears to be back to full health now and ready to rip.
Oh, looks like he's down now. Looks like Griffiths is in trouble here.
Man, this has just been his year. He's
hasn't it?
Had this same sort of situation where he's got the pace, and something like this has just held him back, it seems like, at every race.
Yeah, second at a British National, really the highlight of Griffith's season so far. Benny Duvall, the Canadian, leaves the start hut.
Benny's looked really consistent on this race this weekend. He's built through the season, and he's got his home race in Canada. He's from the other side of the country, but he'll be proud to be representing Canadian riders here in the junior category.
We should talk about that as well. Actually, that's something I think that people from my own part of the world can't really get a handle on. You know, if you're from a different coast, is this his home race? Does he feel connected to this place? Is it?
I think they're proud. There's a lot of Canadian flags out. Whenever I've raced on the other side of the U.S., it's a similar thing, and people are there to support, but it might not feel like his native terrain, the same soil that he's used to riding on, the advantage, the home court advantage in the sense of track, but it definitely get that country pride racing in your home country.
I remember that back from my Enduro days. Sam Hill was always very vocal about anytime we raced in Cairns. He's from nowhere near Cairns.
Yeah, I guess that's how it goes, but hey, you take any support you can.
This is it. Benny Duvall heading towards the finish line now, looking to wrap up a really, really impressive season. Cross the line in front of his home fans, goes 4.5 seconds back on Ryder Lawrence.
Good job, Benny.
The order currently: Lawrence from Hickman, from Duvall into third place. George Madley, we mentioned him earlier in the broadcast, British national champion, riding for Continental Atherton.
He's been, I say it every week, one of the smoothest riders in this category. He doesn't have that aggressive style that we're used to from juniors.
Whoa!
Man, just as I say that,
big crash from Madley, but got away with that one by the look of it.
Yeah, man, he looked like he just got off timing here in these bumps and got bounced offline there. It's quite a narrow track for the speed you're going.
I think he actually did well to get away with that.
It looked like the shifter, I don't know what you call it on the gearbox, but the electronic shifter fell off the bike there in that crash.
Not ideal. Bradley Hudson up next from Australia, Team High Country.
He's been really fast this weekend as well. He looks at home here. Oftentimes we see Australian riders do well on this track. It's long and fast and not quite as steep as some of the European tracks, which for some reason seems to suit the Australian riders over the years.
He was fastest at the first split, but he's lost 2.6 seconds. But we should acknowledge the fact Zach Bradley Hudson into every finals in 2025. Nothing to sneeze at whatsoever.
Yeah, not a surprise at all. Representing the Team High Country, a small effort doing it out of Australia.
Getting bigger and bigger, Team High Country.
Good job of supporting junior riders as well. It's great to see that.
He's found a bit of time, 2.3 seconds back though still.
I think we've just seen a really good run by Ryder Lawrence, starting off earlier than we might have expected. Last weekend, Ryder qualified second, so that's where you'd kind of expect him to be, right thereabouts. And this weekend, opening the race and setting the benchmark time, it's been hard for these riders to compete with.
Zach Bradley Hudson on his way down towards the Mont-Sainte-Anne finish line then. Goes into third, fastest, so slots in just behind Hickman, but Lawrence still leads by 1.3 seconds here at the 10th round of the UCI Downhill World Cup in Mont-Sainte-Anne. Luke Mallon up next for the USA.
The Mallon brothers are quite aggressive on the bike. They definitely go full send when it comes to racing and leave nothing on the track, which is exciting to watch.
I'm about to say, that is a bike that cannot wait to get itself booked in for a bearing service at the end of this one. But
similar.
Mallon, really similar crash to George Madley.
It looked like they're kind of jumping into the woods there and getting bounced off to the rider's left of the line. Yeah, just kind of pushing the bike over that compression. It's a compression that's held up by a rock edge, and the bike seemed like it slid off it with both wheels and then just high-sided the...
Is that just race day pace?
I think so, and it's at the bottom of the run, too. The heart rate's at the max. Grip strength is starting to go. It's hard to focus on a narrow line at that pace.
Alex Mallon up next, Nuller Mallon.
Well, they've got 2 shots at it, the Mallon family. Sometimes they need it the way the kids ride.
Yeah, and that will be a competitive place as well. 2 brothers going at it, you know yourself.
Yeah, you always want to beat your brother. I mean, you're always proud of racing with your brother, but you got an internal fire to be the faster of the 2.
Alex Mallon, 3.1 down at the third split.
Gets that triple into the wood really clean. And a good drive out of the woods here. Timed that section really well. It's pretty flat to the exit. And it looked like he gained about a half second there on Ryder Lawrence.
2.6 seconds back for Alex Mallon.
And that spot where he's in, it may be hard to make up this 2.6 seconds, but there's a few riders right about the same time as he is, so he can go from 4th to 2nd here if he can ace this last section.
Tell you what, it's been an impressive season from the Mallons. Alex goes into 4th, 1.9 seconds back on that time of Ryder Lawrence.
Definitely an impressive season for privateer effort as well.
Up next, another rider, Ryder Wilson. This time for Forbidden. Young Canadian raced this home round. Mathieu Dupel looking after this man in the pits.
Well, he hasn't been at every race, but he is impressive to watch. I think we saw him for the first time last weekend at Lake Placid, and I was wondering who that guy was. He was riding so well on the bike, and I wasn't familiar with him.
I think it's maybe a rider thing. I think you need to be called rider maybe to make up some ground in this junior men's category these days.
Yeah, they're definitely holding it down out there. And here, Ryder Wilson doing it for the Canadian fans on a Canadian brand.
Yeah, we mentioned the Australian junior men going fast. Canadians have got some fast names in there as well in this next generation of riders. 4.3 seconds back, but still all action stuff for Ryder Wilson so far.
It's a nice pre-hop into the rock garden there.
Oh, that high pivot, Forbidden bike, doing his best to deal with what's being asked of it off Wilson here.
A bit off timing, but he got through there cleanly. And the compressions in this sector are just one after the next. You have those jagged rocks and then a jump out of the woods. And then this section here with a few jumps, just landing one and taking off the next compression.
And it's all about exiting this woods with as much speed as possible because it flattens out here. And then the bike's leant over for a lot of the rest of the run. It's hard to get pedals in from here on down.
Yeah, you got to really be smooth. I mean, there's some time to be made, but you just got to carry speed. There's not a lot of effort you can put in. It's more of a smooth timing to get to the finish.
Ryder Wilson, it's been great to watch. Heads down towards the line and goes into 5th. 3.2 seconds back on Ryder Lawrence's first time of the day. And
we've seen a few riders make up time in the last 2 splits, so there's time available there.
Well, here we go, a winner earlier on this year, Bodie Burke for Commensal Schwalbe by Lizor. Really highly rated young rider this, and if there's one thing we've learned in 2025 is that in arguably the most aggressive category, this could be one of the most aggressive runs of the day.
Yeah, well, if you talk about a rider that goes all in, it's Bodie. He throws everything he possibly can at it, and when it comes together, it's worked out well for him. He was on the podium at World Championships last year.
1.1 faster here.
Won the World Cup in Ludenviel, which is one of the toughest, most varied tracks of the season.
Bodie Burke, 57.4 kilometers an hour out in the open now. 1.1 into the lead of the bike race ahead of Ryder Lawrence. John D. Williamson's up next, the sharp end. 5 to go after this man. But he's won races already this year and is making a good case for winning another one right here.
And it's going to require a clean run through this rock garden. And it looks like he aced that turn.
It's lumpy, it's awkward, it's so violent. Bodie Burke making good sense of it here in Mont-Sainte-Anne.
Smooth exit there. He did a great job getting on the pedals and getting a drive out of the woods. Will we go for the triple here? Takes the pre-hop in, which is a smoother entry, and then nice, cleanly over that step down.
Nicely done, yeah. Bodie Burke making really good sense of those rocks in Redbull. He's 0.8 of a second back though, so Lawrence has done something really special in there.
He's one of the lighter riders, so maybe that flatter section just not carrying the same speed as Lawrence, but yeah, he can make it up in this last section. It's going to be tight at the line if he can hit this really smoothly.
Bodie Burke needs to get a move on here if he wants to go into the hot seat. One earlier on this season for Schwalbe. Commensal by Lizor crossing the line, shaking the head already in the fourth, 1.7 back. He knows that one got away from him.
Just went backwards on him really quickly. It looked like he entered this wood section really nicely. Didn't see much of a mistake from him, but just exiting it in the flat section after. Just lost a bit of time on the leader and then actually put him back into fourth.
You see the tightrope the riders are having to walk between getting the bike turned over onto the sidewalls of the tires and actually getting grip on those rocks. But here he comes, Jonty Williamson, in a field of extremely highly rated riders. This one is right up amongst them.
Yeah, and probably the best rider going into the season next year. He's one of the only riders that's mixed it up with the second-year juniors that's going to be a junior again next season.
Yeah, and important to always remember, I think, with Williamson, first year, you know, we've seen him mix it with the Alrans, Tyler Waite, Ace of Vermette all year long, but this is his first time of asking.
Yeah, seeing a lot of the tracks for the first time that these riders have raced last year. They have the experience, how the tracks develop, how the soil reacts to different weather conditions, and he's learning all that for the first time this year.
He's half a second back at the first split, so well in touch here. Jonty Williamson for Yeti by Fox.
And he is one of those smaller riders in the category. He doesn't have the weight behind him as a rider like Asa does, so on the flatter sections it can be harder for him to keep that momentum.
I think he's interesting though, because he rides like a bigger rider. He rides like a Tyler. Oh, wait, the back wheel just jumping out on Jonty Williamson.
Really good job saving that one.
Do you know what I mean? He's very physical on the bike despite being diminutive compared to his teammate. Look at that, Nico.
Yeah, that berm they're jumping into is soft at the top. If they get slightly outside the line, it's easy for the bike to step out.
And he's found some time. He's found 0.4 of a second in there. So Jonty Williamson cracking on here for Yeti.
He's really good. He's got his teammate Tyler Waite to ride with. They're often riding together, pushing each other, and we've got someone to compare lines with and ride practice with. It definitely raises the level of both riders.
Off the Stevie Smith drop out into the open. Trying to get off the brakes. What's the next split going to tell us? 0.8 of a second back now on that time of rider Lawrence for Jonty Williamson.
Well, that's well within touch. If he can hit this rock garden fast, you can see that time come back to him.
61.5. Look what they have to aim that little tiny rut there to get the bike turned right.
The markings may be wide, but the racing line is quite narrow for the speed these guys are going.
Here he comes into Lisdal now. We know that this man can find time in here. Jonty Williamson attacking every square inch of the rocks of Mont-Sainte-Anne.
He hit that really nicely. Goes for the inside line and triples down out of the rock garden. That was super clean from Jonty.
Beautifully done by Jonty Williamson, and that is going to equal some time back towards him on the clock. Is it going to be as much as 0.8 of a second, though, which he needs if he wants to beat that time? Off rider Lawrence, which is currently in the hot seat.
He goes for the triple into the woods, lands it so smoothly you could hardly tell it was such a big jump, and gets a really nice drive out of this wood section.
Ridiculous ride, and he's 1.8 seconds faster, Jonty Williamson now.
Well, 1.8 will get him to the line, but he's going to need to maximize it for the riders that are still to come behind him.
Shots fired late in the day here in the junior men's race. This one looks like it might add up for Jonty Williamson from Yeti Fox.
Super smooth here, hits the inside line and gets a nice backside on the pedals.
Jonty Williamson heads down towards the line. Are we going to see a change in the hot seat for the first time in this race? We are. 2.4 seconds faster than rider Lawrence.
Well, that's exactly what he needed to do. He needed to open up a bigger gap in that last split, and the next couple riders at the end of this category are going to be challenging that, so he needed all the time cushion that he could get.
What a way to round off a remarkable season from Jonty Williamson.
He goes inside in this rock art, and then right here pulls a triple and hips down to the backside, so he skipped those three edges, which is a lot more technical than it might look.
The reaction of the spectators who were stood beside it tell you everything you need to know about the level of commitment there from Jonty Williamson.
He'll be happy with that one. All these riders want to end the season on a positive note.
Next up is his teammate, Tyler Waite. Teammates off the track, but so often nemesis on the track.
Tyler really wants to win this season. He missed most of the season last year with a broken wrist, got back for the last few races of the year, and then this season he's been so consistent. Aside from a flat tire, he's been on every podium and just hasn't gotten that win. For being one of the fastest riders in the category, he's one of the 5 riders who have won that hasn't got it.
He's 0.6 of a faster though at the first split, Tyler Waite.
Well, he started off the way he needs to if he wants to contest with the Alran brothers and Asa for the win today.
And really a rider in that classic Yeti mold of just big, strong, really, really physical on the bike. 0.6 of a second, so he's maintaining here, Nico.
Yeah, the Yeti boys both holding each other honest through here. We saw Jonty have a mistake, so Tyler might extend that out of this section.
On those really, really beautiful prototype Yeti race bikes.
And Tyler kind of set off the weekend with his intentions clear. He won time training with the fastest time of the day out of anyone in the elite category. So he made it clear he wanted to win the race this year, and he had one more shot to do it.
Tyler Waite out into the open. Heads towards the Stevie Smith drop. See just how fast they're covering the ground from that drone shot there.
Hardly touched the rock there, just landed at the bottom on the bridge.
Pulls across a big hole in the middle of that, as Nico said. It's taped really widely this part of the course. 2.4 seconds faster.
Yeah, so not a surprise once we saw that mistake from Jonty. And Tyler's a bit heavier, so he's going to carry really good momentum. The track from here to the finish is fairly flat, so you got to be strong and be able to carry speed across these rough, flatter sections.
Bradley Hudson, Waite, Williamson, Hickman, the order of the fastest sectors so far. Waite does well to turn right there, but just got hung up slightly.
Goes to that outside line. He triples down that nicely too, but took a wider line that gives him a better drive out of the woods. So it might have looked a bit slower in the apex of that turn, but I think it carries him all the way through where we're seeing now.
And we talked about how good Williamson was in here. Waite, the bigger rider.
Well, he got a bit offline and was in some of the bigger holes there, but it didn't seem to slow him down.
Got away with one, 2.5 seconds faster. He's found a 1/10 of a second on that time of his teammate, Jonty Williamson.
Just like we said from Jonty, Tyler's got to maximize here. He's got 3 of the fastest riders in the world coming after him, and he's got to make as much time as he can from here to the finish.
Tyler Waite knows that if he wants a win in 2025, he can make no mistakes from here on down. Here comes the New Zealand National Championship champion. Tyler Waite for Yeti Fox crosses the line and goes fastest by 3.5 seconds. Nico, he found an extra second in that final sector.
Yeah, he did a great job there. That was the fastest time we've seen of the weekend in this category, so he did exactly what he needed to do to contest for the win today.
Didn't look as smooth through there as Williamson, but certainly found time. Here we go. Things are getting very, very serious in this final junior men's race. Off the air then, tell Alran for comments I'll muck off by riding addiction on course.
Till was incredible the middle part of the season. That win in Latweel was some of the best riding we've seen of anyone all season.
It was one of those standout runs, wasn't it? It just lives in the memory.
Well, that was nice. He went inside and gapped from the hump and kind of downsided the back of the berm there. We haven't seen anyone do that yet.
Yeah, 2 wins, Val di Sole and Latweel.
Inside there as well, before the shark fin. He's one of the most creative riders. He's often the first one in this category in their B practice to be doing some of the gnarlier lines and gnarlier jumps, even ahead of his brother Max.
Yeah, really softly spoken, quiet guy off the bike, but on it.
Just some bad luck last weekend. We had a few riders in the junior category with a flat tire in the qualifying round, and unfortunately it was enough to rip the tire off the rim and put him outside of that top 20. We didn't get to see him race last weekend.
Last time we'll see him race as a junior up in the elites next year with his twin brother Max.
Well, he'll be wanting to end that junior category with a win here and show his brother who finished on top.
Till Alran really, really strong through there. He's a 1/10 of a second back on the time of Tyler Waite. It's currently Waite from Williamson from Lawrence on the podium for the time being, but you get a feeling that might all change in the next 3 riders.
Yeah, you wonder if some of those inside lines that he pulled actually paid off. He was a 10th back off Tyler. Tyler was more on the main line there. So impressive riding from Till, but it hasn't quite added up in the time just yet.
Let's get another split in for Till Alran.
He's brought back a little in that section.
0.2 of a second faster. The lights turn green for the first time in this run for Till Alran. 2 riders remain at the top after this man on your screen now.
And he's did a clean job of gapping into that berm. Really good exit there. We saw Jonty get hung up, but both himself and Tyler hit that really nicely.
Here's a question for you. If you could take one Alran onto your squad for next year, which one would you take?
I'd take Max's mindset and Till's skills.
That was very, very politically done. Well done. Till Alran out in the open now. See the beautiful autumn colours here in Mont-Sainte-Anne, the banks of the St. Lawrence River.
Gaps almost to the bottom of that bridge. You can just see
right off the Stevie Smith drop.
This pace they're carrying, they don't mean to jump to the bottom of that thing. They're just going faster than they ever have.
0.3 of a second now for Till Alran.
So it's really tight here between him and Tyler. Tyler just opened up the bottom section of the track. It's going to all come down to this rock garden. This is the most technical feature we have, and this sector is going to really make or break the race today.
Deep breath, the lights go off. Till Alran opens up. Oh! There's the rock section of a huge crash.
Man, not a place you want to crash. It's always good to see the riders get up that quick, but he just mistimed this. He came in so quick. There's all these sharp edges here, and it just put him offline.
Managed to get something on that crash pad just to slow his rate of descent down, but he got lucky there, Nico.
He really, with where he landed on the ground, there's a lot of places you wouldn't want to impact, and he caught it at the right spot.
Max Commensal, Cedric Ravenel watching on at the bottom. Max Commensal, the legend himself, his name is on the down tube of that factory bike of Till Alran.
Well, we've got an exciting 2 riders to come. I'm going to head to the finish and leave it to you, Rick.
Nico Mullally has his day job to do. Heads off to a Waite. His rider, the fastest qualifier from yesterday's session. Asa Vermette will be last man down today. Till Alran not going to get a 3rd win this season, but just great to see him up and moving after that huge impact in amongst the rocks of Mont-Sainte-Anne in Les Dalles. Here we go. You can see the front end just gets slung over to the rider's left-hand side, and then bike wants no more to do with it. Tyler Waite, Jonty Williamson, rider Lawrence Watchot on the hot seat. 2 to go. And the first of those is the UCI Downhill World Champion for junior men, Max Alran. Commensal muck off by Riding Addiction. Sets off on his quest for another win. Alran nice and smoothly done through the top of the course. Out in the open now, off the brakes, tucks down low behind the bars, 1.4 seconds back already, Alran. So whenever your talent is as deep as Max Alran's, you don't want to say he's in trouble here, but he's got 1.4 seconds to find whenever it's been nip and tuck for everyone else the whole way down here. But we know this man is capable of the miraculous on his day. Won those UCI World Champion stripes in Champery earlier on this season. Had a big crash in practice ahead of this one, so that might be responsible for that red light against the sector one time. We're hearing he may or may not have dislocated a finger in that impact earlier on this morning, so let's see what the next split tells us. Max Alran maybe not looking quite at full gas here in Mont-Sainte-Anne. 5.1 seconds back. Yeah, Max Alran not at his best, and it will be because of that huge smash he had earlier on this morning. Battered, bruised, riding through the pain barrier here. Max Alran. But Commensal muck off by Riding Addiction. Still has time to be ridiculously stylish off the hip. So has a 32-point lead ahead of Asa Vermette at the start of this race. Is riding injured. What's the next split say? 5.6. So he's only lost half a second there, but There are some big time gaps out there. This would be good enough for third as things stand. Then we'd have to work out how the points would shake out. He needs to finish inside the top 7 to win this UCI Downhill World Cup overall title. At the minute, despite being 5.6 seconds back, that is possible. 7.9 seconds is the top 7 spread currently. So Max Alran riding through the pain barrier maybe, but riding towards the title nevertheless. And there's a second half of Liddell, gets that gap on exit done. One rider remains at the top of the hill. Alran needs a top 7 here today. 6.4, it's getting closer and closer to it. Alex Mallon currently in 7th, 7.9 seconds back, so Alran needs to keep that big common saddle bike moving forward here. Practically scrubs to flat off that final hit. Max Alran crosses the line and goes into third, 5.8 seconds. That should do it for the overall title, but we have one rider left at the top of the hill. What a season Max Alran has had. Not happy. Really, really wanted to win today, and you can just see that trademark Max flow wasn't quite in there today. Nico Mullally came into the commentary booth earlier on this morning with the news that he had a big crash in practice, but we head up to the top for yesterday's fastest qualifier. Asa Vermette leaves the Star Hut at the final round of the UCI Downhill World Cup in 2025. The last rider in the junior men's category is on the hill, and it's Asa Vermette for Frameworks by 5dev. Vermette smashing his way through the woods. 0.8 of a second faster at the first split than the hot seat time of Tyler Waite. We heard from Nico Mullally earlier on in the race saying that he's not overthinking this, he just wants to go out, ride his fastest run, which he knows is going to be good enough for a win today if he can get it pulled off. Vermette out into the sunlight briefly before the woods close in once again. Max Alran is down within the top 7, which will be enough for the title, but he's a second faster here today, Asa Vermette. Vermette on the move in Mont-Sainte-Anne, gets that big gap done in amongst the gully. This man will be lighting it up amongst the elite men next season. Last time we'll see him race as a junior. Vermette, the two Alran brothers. Ollie Clark heading up, Tyler Waite heading up as well, so there will be absolute fireworks at round 1 next year in South Korea. Vermette, what's the next split going to tell us? 2.7 seconds faster at the third split for Asa Vermette now. 62.2 kilometers an hour through the speed trap, hits that tiny, tiny right-hand rock. Floats across the bridge and then enters the Dow. Here we go, buckle up, Asa Vermette into the woods of Mont-Sainte-Anne. Vermette dancing his way across the slabs. Gets that triple. Gets the drop, pulls across the bottom half of it as well. That looked very, very fast in my eyes. Vermette into the second half of Liddell now. Gets the gap over to the rider's left-hand side. Cuts back over to the right. 4.3 seconds faster for Asa Vermette. Fastest time this weekend so far, 3 minute 33 seconds from Lloyd Bruni in elite men's qualifying yesterday. Asa Vermette could be about to tear that apart here in the junior men's final. Asa Vermette on his way down the line and takes another win to end the 2025 season. 4.6 seconds faster than Tyler Waite with a 3:29, fastest time of the weekend so far. For the frameworks by 5 Dev Start, quiet by his standards start to the year. But he heads into the off-season with a win. His big rival, Max Alran. You can see that right hand of Alran bandaged up. Tell Alran what a talent pool this junior men's season has produced. But when he's on, and there's no stopping. Asa Vermette, 3:29 to end the day's junior racing. Just completely at one with that frameworks machine underneath him. Committed to the team during the last off-season. In through the rocks, big impacts, shrugged off. Asa Vermette. Getting it done in Mont-Sainte-Anne. Here's confirmation of the results then. Vermette wins by 4.6 seconds from Tyler Waite. Jonty Williamson in third. Then it was Max Alran, Ryder Lawrence, Hickman, Bradley Hudson, Burke, Mallon and Wilson. That time of Ryder Lawrence, first rider on track, ends up with 5th today. Big result for him. Tell Alran in 13th. George Madley rounding out the top 20 for Continental Athlon after a big crash. Well, we can hear now from the UCI World Cup overall title winner for the junior men. Here's Max.
Max Alran, I see some tape on your hand. What went on this morning?
Yeah, this morning was pretty bad because last run of practice I crashed in the rock garden and dislocated my finger on the left hand, so that was pretty bad, but it was not the worst. And yeah, my right wrist was completely sore. I crashed in Lindsay and it was already bad, and just feeling better at Lake Placid and all the week, and yeah, crash and again it hurt. So yeah, just super stoked to make it to the bottom alive. And yeah, we did it pretty good, so I ended up 4-5ing, and yeah, keep the overall, so just super stoked.
What was the focus to recover from that injury this morning and to take the World Cup overall title?
Just keep riding as I know and try to manage the feeling, like just keep riding and try to be safe and yeah, not crash, because yeah.
Congratulations on the World Cup overall title, Max.
Thanks a lot.
Max Alran taking the win in 2025, excuse me. 12 points in the end, separating him and Asa Vermette. Unbelievable season of racing from both of them. Tyler Waite, Till Alran, Jonty Williamson, the top 5. Ollie Clark just outside that, injured in 6th. What could have been if he'd kept things in one piece the entirety of this season. But here's a sector breakdown. Vermette fastest in 1, 3 and 4. Till Alran was fastest in the second one. Asa Vermette, very close to perfect. Max Alran has the overall title. Asa Vermette has a win at the final round. Elite racing on its way to you from Mont-Sainte-Anne. Don't go anywhere. Cheers.